Hey folks, it's Nick Granville. So today, it was just a little funky thing. I've been warming up for my gig tonight. I've got a gig tonight with two drummers, both on drum kits, keyboards and guitars. So we'll be doing like an organ trio thing, but with an extra drummer, which should be lots of fun. And they're all fantastic musicians. So if you're around Wellington, come on down to Hashigazaki. It's our little home place in Wellington. So anyway, I thought I'd talk about triads today. Triads, 3-note chords. So if we're in the key of C, you have the notes C, E, and G. 1, 3, and 5 of the scale. So C, D, E, it's the third. F, G is the 5. 1, 3, 5. Real simple. So if I go C, I go to my third, and I go to my fifth. And that's a C triad. And now I've seen different ways that people explain this, but I'll show you the way that I was taught it and how to develop them into your playing. So I'll show you firstly how I do it, and then I'll show you how to sort of develop it into your playing. So step 1, C triad, right? So if we have C, E, G, they can be in any particular order, right? So if I take my C, I can move it up to the next note in the chord, and that's an E. Move it up to the next note, that's a G, and next note is C. We have that. And if we moved it all up again, we would have this. G, C, E. So we have, right, 3 different voicings along the same set of strings. But a better way to look at it is to go C, E, G, and then take the G and drop it down an octave. And take the E and drop it down an octave. And then take the C and drop it down an octave. And what you end up with is, right? 4 triads off the same one. Now I've seen people go like that, but that's not a triad, right? There's no third in it. So it's, and then on the next set, starting from here, would be. I will show how to use these two. This is just like an exercise for learning them, right? And that's all your triads. Of course, you have that can be down an octave. I use these all the time. I use triads. I love triads. I think they're a great sound. And I'll talk about application in a minute. Right, so that's major triad. If we want to turn it to minor, we go C, E flat, and G. We have a flat in third. Right, pretty simple. Will be your next one. Be your next one, and be your next one. So we now have, not that. And then same on the next set of strings. Same on the next set. Obviously we don't have one down here because our lowest string is an E. We can't lower the E any more than E flat to E flat, so that doesn't work. Next one, sus4. So we take 1, 3, 5, go 1, 4, 5. So, of course, next set. Right, and then sus2 is 1, 2, 5. I realize I'm going over these quickly because you can slow it down and you can check this all out again and sort of figure it out, right? But that's sus2, diminished, 1, flat 3, flat 5. So we have... It's pretty straightforward. Augmented. Right, so that's major, minor, sus4, sus2, diminished and augmented. By the time you've done that, you probably know enough about triads, right? In terms of shapes. Now, it's the application of them that matters, right? So this is what I was going to talk about now. If we go from the typical chord progression that's very simple, like C, F, and G chords, right? A C chord might be this. Now, you could jump down to the F here, and then up to the G here, and the C up here. But that's not very musical, is it? It's not a very musical way of playing it. A better way to do it might be C, like that, and then go to F. So. Right. Or maybe your first one might be this. Right? And I try and work out like how to play like common songs but with just these triads. Maybe it might be 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. In the most logical triads, right? And then of course we have triads that happen over top of other chords, right? So that's like a basic kind of step. That's a step worth doing. But again, another application that I use a lot is to play triads over other chords because it's just more interesting, right? So for example, E minor over C gives me C major 7. Right? So now any E minor triad I know, are C minor major 7 triads, right? So that's a really powerful thing, is like taking, you know, if you think of a 7th chord, it's a triad with a different bass note. Another one, the classic Steely Dan chord that you would have heard a lot of times, is like the 5 chord over the 1. Right? And it's basically a G triad over a C. Now I have all those voicings I can use. Right? And they give me a bunch of colours. One that's the classic jazz thing that people will use is on a 5 chord, say a G, we're in the key of C, so let's go key, the 5 chord being a G, is to play the E major triad. Right? You have the 3rd, you have the 13, you have the flat 9, so lots of cool colour tones. It's like a 13 flat 9 sound. You know, as many different ways as you can play it. Now, that's all talking about them as chords, but I also use these when I solo. Like I play triads. I play triad pairs a lot. We'll talk about triad pairs in a future video, but triad pairs are really useful because they, you know, they spell certain sounds like. We'll get into that another day. So let me comment below if you're interested in triad pairs. But otherwise, that's sort of a brief look at how I kind of approach triads. I find them super useful. I think, you know, they're simple, but I think simple is what makes things good a lot of the time, right? Because it gets the point across without any fuss. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do and like this video. I really appreciate everybody sticking with me through all this. I've been doing it for a month now, videos every day on YouTube. My name's Nick, I'm a guitar player in Wellington, New Zealand. I play this thing for a living. You know, what a crazy job. Thanks guys, talk to you soon, cheers.